Good evening, everybody. The whole world, including Bangladesh, is passing through a very critical time due to the coronavirus outbreak. So, this is our responsibility to try our best to keep ourselves and the children safe. Please stay at home and stay safe and always maintain social distance. Today, I am going to talk about structuralism, especially the nature and scope of structuralism. So let's discuss. Almost all literary theorists since Aristotle have emphasized the importance of structure, which they conceive in diverse ways in analyzing a work of literature. Abrams, A Glossary of Literary Terms, 6th edition, 1993, page 280. However, structuralism now designates the practice of critics who analyze literature on the explicit model of modern linguistic theory. It's a term of literary criticism related to language, though it influenced a number of modes of knowledge and movements like philosophy, anthropology, social science, literature in Europe. Actually, structuralism became a major post-war intellectual movement in Europe and the United States. But the fact is that structuralism includes all kinds of communicative methods, both verbal and non-verbal, as well as sign and signification. As a result, it relates all the forms of sign like smoke, fire, traffic light, fly beacon, body language, status symbol, artifacts, and so on. Even the study of the animal behavior is also equally important and related with structuralism. রশিদ দাসকারী উত্তরাধুনিক ও সাহিত্য সমালোচনা তত্ত্ব কাশবন প্রকাশনী ঢাকা পেজ 43. Though structuralism was marked and bloomed in the 1950s and 1960s, the salient of it was the Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. He, instead of highlighting the historical development of language, chose to consider it in a temporal term as a system of differentiated sign, which could have meaning within the system of which they were part. Bijoy Kumar Das, 20th Century Literary Criticism, Atlantic Publishers and Distributors, Dhaka, page 26. He gave emphasis and importance on modern usage of a language system and its activities, its grammatical structures, and on the establishment of its meaning. Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure's idea about linguistic structure can be expatiated in three different ways. Firstly, the imposed meaning of a word is absurd and it keeps on only our traditional faith. There is no relation between a word and its meaning. For example, the meaning of the word heart might not be what it traditionally implies. It would give another meaning. So, it is absurd to cherish a specific meaning fixed for a specific word. Secondly, no word can be defined keeping it separate from its related words. Every word depends on its synonymous words for giving a meaning idea. So, word meanings depends on their systematic arrangements. For this, when you say the word mansion, we make a comparison with its synonymous words like house, palace, etc. Not only the synonyms but also the antonyms of a word help us impose a meaning upon a word. As a result, the word man expresses such a meaning that the word woman does not. As the day does not like the night, so all the words are knitted with their comparative and contrastive ideas. Thirdly, The meaning of a word is always imposed on it by human mind and idea. It is never universal. For example, there is no impartial and real method for distinguishing two persons. One is a terrorist and another is a freedom fighter. They can be accepted to various persons with their with various ideals and valuations. So language is arbitrary, relational, and constitutive. In fact, structuralism refers to the works of structural linguists like Ferdinand de Saussure, Jacobson, structural anthropologists like Levi Strauss, and structural semioticians, like Grimes and Barthes. So all these critics share a characteristic way of thinking about structures. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for your cooperation and coordination.